I don't know what to think anymore. So between Minnesota, between Tulsa, between New York, I mean, it's just, and then between President Obama, I think these are like the most depressing news stories I've come across in a little while, only because it's just, I don't know, it's just weighing down on me to the point where you have to become almost apathetic to not internalize it and not to completely snap at the insanity that surrounds us every single day. There's not a day that we can go by without something ridiculous happening, and we become desensitized to it, and it becomes normalized, right? This violence becomes normal. We simply, and then the reaction to the violence becomes normal because we instantly politicize it. I mean, as soon as the explosions happened in New York, everyone took that as an opportunity to attack Islam without having any information about it. They just automatically assumed and attacked Islam. And then you had everyone on the other side of the equation trying to protect Islam when, and then the same exact thing, the same political reactions with the murder of Terrence Crutcher. You have the Blue Lives Matter and the White Lives Matter people scrambling to find a way to justify it. And the usual standard battle lines are drawn, and it is the ultimate formula for us to make no progress whatsoever on anything. And I think that's the part that is driving me the craziest, is that no matter what happens, we have perfected a formula to do nothing, while simultaneously feigning outrage, right? And maybe we're not feigning outrage. Maybe we are outraged. But despite our outrage, we have perfected a formula to get nothing done. Nothing changes. And I've been aware of this for some time, right? I believe it was 2013, the shooting in Connecticut. All the children that were killed, and we did nothing. I mean, nothing changed, right? Once I realized that someone can shoot up, I believe 25 total people, and the majority of them were elementary school students. Once I realized they could get away with that without us changing anything, I realized there's nothing that we're actually going to change in America. Nothing. And so now with the police shooting of officer shooting of African-American men and women, we get outraged. People draw their lines in the sand and nothing changes. People protest and nothing changes. That's because our system is designed to absorb all of our outrage. It's baked into the system. There's nothing, I mean, protest, I mean, march, boycott, all these things. The system is designed to just absorb it and allow life to continue exactly the way we see it right now. I always like to ask the question, why? Why is it that we're not capable of changing anything, or who benefits? Even better question is like, who benefits from nothing ever changing? And I can't even get to that part tonight. I can't even get to the deeper conversation of who benefits from nothing ever changing. I mean, I can list them, right? The NRA benefits, the gun manufacturers benefit, the police unions benefit. I mean, the police officers themselves benefit because you shoot a cop and you become a hero, according to Tupac. And it's true. Darian Wilson out of Ferguson, made hundreds of thousands of dollars after he killed Michael Brown. So I can list the people who benefit from nothing changing. But I can't even get to there emotionally today because it's just mind-blowing that nothing ever changes. And so, unfortunately, I have to predict that in about another week, we'll be right back here. We'll be right back here with someone else being shot by the police. with some act of terror, whether we know the root, and without us ever addressing the causes of terror. With the only thing we do is that we try to bomb it out of existence and never address any of the underlying situations that lead to it. We never talk about the radicalization or why these young men are so, even within America, forget overseas, just here in America, why it's so easy for young men, white men and young men of Middle Eastern descent to become radicalized. Hell, I got to throw black people in there now. Young black men becoming radicalized and going out and committing acts of terror. We don't ever address the underlying circumstances. All we want to do is bomb it out of existence, shoot it out of existence. So not only are we not going to change anything about gun violence in America, we're not going to change anything about police violence against black people and against any people in America. We're not going to address anything about the radicalization that leads to quote unquote terrorism. And so next week, we'll be back with the same exact type of stories. I would have to Google all of my videos to tell you all of the black people I've reported on being killed by the police just in 2 years. The only names I remember are the names that I have to call out on a regular basis. I can't say their names because I can't remember all their names. I can't tell you how many acts of terror or quote unquote terror are we going to have to address, because nothing ever changes. And I don't really want to, but I guess I will. I mean, my mind is going here, so I might as well go here. You know, a large part of the frustration that people feel, the exasperation, the just being fatigued, it's exacerbated by poverty. It's exacerbated by frustration with their plight in this American, what they thought was going to be the American dream. And ultimately it became a nightmare. It's the fact that they're living without the ability to enjoy life. They are constantly berated by their financial situation. And we pay absolutely zero attention to that whatsoever. We pay zero attention. We don't allow the conversation to go and to actually discuss. And this is not just something that's a problem on the right. It's actually a problem on the left too. On the left, we don't allow ourselves we don't give space to moderate Muslims to address the problems that are pervasive not pervasive, the problems that exist in Islam, because we automatically try to protect them from any criticism whatsoever. But at the same time, it's the reason we react like that is because as soon as something happens, the right automatically tries to make it a crusade against Islam. And so we're stuck in this battle where we're incapable of addressing the underlying issues of any problem. Anything. And I've got the sinking feeling in my stomach that that's exactly the way they want it. And you could fill in the they for yourself. I can't fill it in for you tonight.